You're tuned into Women in Bloom, a mother-daughter personal development podcast for women in their bloom season. Life comes at you fast, and to that we say, bloom anyway.
My skin started to evolve as my mindset changed, as my emotions, as I started to do the inner work. My skin literally changed before my eyes, and that's what kind of drew me to the aesthetics work, because some people practice aesthetics very surface level, and my aesthetics is a lot, it's deeper, it's holistic.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am well. We are well. Just, trying to get into the flow of doing these live guest sessions is just, a learning process, but we're having fun with it.
It's different. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Same, because I'm like, okay, a little nervous, but I'm here.
yes. Well, we all got a little bit of the jitters. I think I've gotten a lot more comfortable with like just the podcasting because it's just like I'm also graceful with myself. Like it's like I'm learning, we're learning. So perfection is not like something I'm striving for. So it's all good. It's all good. So number one, thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited to get into this conversation. And first of all, let me introduce you to my co-host. This is my mother. Her name is we call her Eldris. That's her title.
Oh, well, look what I got on. Yes, that is my title, and I am so glad to meet you. Read a little bit about you, and I'm really, really excited to hear more.
Yes.
Well, I'm excited to meet you too, Miss Eldris. Thank you, ladies, both of you ladies, for having me. Me and Jasmine had a conversation a few weeks ago, but she spoke so highly of you. So I'm excited to have this conversation. And I want to thank you both for sharing your platform with me.
Yay. So I want to tell a little bit about you. I want to tell folks what you do. And first of all, I thought my mother and I had a conversation a couple of episodes ago about what it means for a person to put themselves together every day. And I'm one of those girlies that's a part of my self-care. Like it's a part of my, feeling good and, getting my day started is the whole feeling put together. So, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I'm going to read your bio because I just love the concept. So, Tanisha Holton, also known as the Holistic Homegirl, is a holistic esthetician, herbalist, and doula dedicated to helping women reconnect with themselves through intentional self-care and healing practices. She's the founder of Holistic Homegirl and the visionary behind The Ritual Room, a healing-centered space where beauty, wellness, and energy work come together. Through her work, Tanisha blends skincare, herbal remedies, and holistic rituals to support women in nurturing both their inner and outer well-being. Speaking my language. Rooted in community, culturally grounded, rooted in community and authenticity, her mission is to make wellness feel accessible, culturally grounded, and deeply personal, especially for women who are learning to choose themselves, set boundaries, and heal from within. So welcome.
Yes.
Thank you. It sounds so different to hear someone else read it. It's like, yeah, that's me. That's the girl she's talking about.
Wonderful. I am really excited to hear more. I'm from a generation that didn't learn to do that.
So and expand on that. Didn't learn to do what?
Didn't learn to like, okay, we might put ourselves together to go to work, right? But it was the function of it. It was more performative than it was about self-care, right? So when you and now I'm not in the workspace. So when you're not in the workspace, right? And you learn to do that, or right, your whole reason for doing it was for work. You all of a sudden you like ain't no place to go. I ain't doing my hair. I ain't doing nothing. And I got up this morning went and got my little cuts, right? Got myself ready and I feel good. So I know the benefits of it, right?
Yes.
But I didn't learn to do it as practice. So I'm
Yes.
really excited to hear more.
Yes.
Yes, I love that, Miss Elders, because I will say that I grew up with women who did, in your generation, who did not, that wasn't their daily practice. And
Mhm.
I wasn't taught that naturally. Like I had to
Mhm.
learn that because that was not something that my mother was doing. That wasn't really something that my grandmother was doing. My grandmother was a little bit more put together at one point. Like you said, it was performative to
Mhm.
go to work. And so she would get herself together, but it was not a regular thing. Once she retired, she
Mhm.
was not like, ain't no more getting my hair done, any of that. And
Wow.
my
None of
mother never like took that on.
it.
She never, my mom, and career wise, she was a nurse. And
Mhm.
so she doesn't have to be, looking a necessary way to go to work to do what she does. So she put her
Mhm.
scrubs on, pull her hair back into a ponytail, and carry on. So I was never
Mhm.
taught the self-care piece. And I learned that later
Mhm.
in life
Mhm.
once I started doing some internal work that I needed to do.
Mhm.
And then I started to,
Mhm.
like you said, see the benefit of looking good and feeling good because they go hand in hand.
Mhm.
And then it became like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
daily practice because it's like, if I keep doing this,
Mhm.
it takes 21 days to make a habit, right? So
Right,
if I keep
right.
doing this every day, and then it just becomes a habit and now I'm consistently feeling good
Mhm.
instead of it just being, like you said, performative.
Right. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And shout out to nurses. My mom was a nurse too, but she did the same thing. Like, yep,
Oh,
it was, I just got to go to work, right?
Right.
My job
Mhm.
is to care for others, not necessarily for myself. So again,
exactly.
reinforcing that.
Yeah. Speaking of, I feel like, sometimes, because I think it can feel a little burdensome, the burden of having to do the look, having to do all of the external things. Sometimes you just, time wise, you want to just be able to get up and go, right? You want to just, jump in the shower, throw
Mhm.
your clothes on, and not have to really think so much about that. Um, and on the flip side, there is like enjoyable, and there's some enjoyment that comes from, oh, I'm doing my hair, I'm doing my makeup, oh, I did that liner just right, I'm doing my skincare, I'm doing my toner, my 5-step, thing, and just like caring and tending to the beauty thing. And one of the things that I had said, what was it, mommy, that I said that quote a couple weeks ago that you were just like, oh, I said, now, and I don't want this to be my moniker.
Remind me to quote.
Because I said, one of my favorite times of the day is when I'm in the mirror. And you were like, that sounds a little bit, I don't know if you should say it like that. And so I had to
Right.
explain. I had to explain because it's
Conceited a
like,
little bit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's that you got all your little potions on the table, you got your oils, you know what I'm saying? Everything is like you just doing, even doing hair, like coloring my hair, conditioning it, like putting my rods in. I'm a
Yeah.
girly girl in that aspect. So I really do, enjoy the whole doing other people's hair. Like I just enjoy that process. So I naturally
Mhm.
like it being a part of self-care is like, yeah.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a delay. So I don't know if anybody else is noticed.
Yeah, I'm getting the delay
Yeah,
also.
yeah, there's a little bit of a delay when you were speaking jazz, but yeah, um
Okay.
just to the whole thing about being in the mirror, right? Like, and I was older when I learned that there is um spiritual benefit to looking yourself
Mhm.
in the mirror and looking in your
Mhm.
eyes, like staring deep into
Mhm.
your own eyes. So
Mm,
even the practice of not being in front of the mirror
mhm,
is sort of like takes you away from connecting with yourself.
mhm.
Right. I know that, but practice, the 21 days. Right.
Right. The practice, the
Let's get
consistency
to the
of it,
practice. Right.
right? Exactly. And I wanted to expand on something you said, Jasmine, also about the enjoyment of putting yourself together and doing the things, the hair and the makeup and the things, I also, some of my work also looks like not always doing the things either and being confident anyway, because that was one of my things too. Like, growing up at one point, I always had to have a beat face. If I didn't have my makeup laid and slayed, then I couldn't go nowhere. I couldn't take a picture. It was nothing that I was comfortable and confident in myself enough to do without having that, I like to call it a mask, because that's what it was for me at that time. Like, I was not super self-confident in who I was without the bells and whistles. And now that is one of my practices of sometimes just getting up and combing my hair back in a ponytail and feeling confident enough to go outside. And that's where my skincare came into play as well, because I started to learn that it wasn't just about putting the makeup on. What is the root? Like, why do you feel so attached to the makeup? Like, why do I feel like I have to wear makeup? If I don't wear makeup, why do I feel so like not confident to go outside and just, be myself? And so I had to start working on my skin, but I'm sure we'll get into that later on in the episode. But definitely, like, my skin started to evolve as my mindset changed, as my emotions, as I started to do the inner work. My skin literally changed before my eyes. And that's what kind of drew me to the aesthetics work, because some people practice aesthetics very surface level. And my aesthetics is a lot, it's deeper, it's holistic.
Yes. Talk to us about it. Talk to us about, first of all, that journey of getting yourself from the beat face each and every day and realizing, like, actually there's something deeper that I need to open up and examine as to why I'm doing this and how it led you into this work in particular.
Yes. Well, I will say that I've always been very spiritual. I'm one of those people that I was born with gifts that I wasn't aware of until I really got older. But in that, I was always drawn to more like spiritual things, psychology, things of that nature. And I came across, after like starting to learn more about myself and my patterns, like I had to go to therapy, and I had a therapist kind of like point certain things out to me about patterns of my behavior, patterns of relationships that I was choosing to be in, where it was almost like the same person in a different body. And I started to wonder, like, what is wrong with me? Like, it's something, I'm the common denominator here in this process. And that took me to shadow work, which then took me to the other things. Like, the other things just all started to come as a result of the shadow work that I was doing for my emotional health. That's where like the physical healing came in as well, because it was like, okay, I'm doing this work and then simultaneously this other stuff is coming up. And that's kind of like how I just started working through everything. And then because I've always had a natural draw to beauty and doing makeup and the things, I started to feel as though, okay, what's the more like, aesthetics to me was like the root of the beauty, because I'm focusing on the skin and not just what I'm putting on the skin, but just the skin as an organ, which is, the skin is the largest organ of our body. And a lot of people don't know that and don't pay enough attention, to the skin. But when your skin looks good, when your skin is healthy, I think that really does help you appreciate and love yourself even more. Like, when you look in the mirror, you're happy with what you see, because my skin is healthy, it's balanced, I look well, I'm feeling good.
And it's
because
you. It's you with no bells and whistles.
It's so true, because one thing I also learned was that the skin it reveals what's going on internally.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Just the mirror looking out.
Yes. You know, to that point, I
Mm-hmm,
found
mm-hmm.
that I have like a chronic health condition and I have a lot of dietary restrictions. And I feel like each year I learn something new that is like has been kind of contributing to the condition. And when I tell you, now I hate my dietary restrictions. I like to eat those things. But when I tell you my skin
Uh-huh.
glows when I am, you know,
When you
adhering
off.
to, you said what, mommy?
When you off.
What, listen, when I'm,
Mm-hmm.
you can see it. When I'm eating something that is like, not, doesn't agree with my body, it appears here first, like, so it's almost like the indicator, like, you better slow down because what you see here is like a little bit of a reflection of what might be happening on the inside. So, and I know when I've had I'm having a bright day and with no makeup, I'm like, oh dang, my diet was on point. Like my food was on point
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. So, um, I'm curious like what this looks like when you work with other women, like, anecdotally or like just in like day-to-day practice. What does it look like when you're supporting women like on that journey or who want to take that journey?
Yes. Well, with the aesthetics work, when my work is also very energy focused,
Mhm.
as well, because I kind of have this gift where I can feel things when I
Mm.
touch people, when I touch their
Ooh.
skin. I get different messages about what a person might be going through, what they're battling. And so it always turns into a therapy, a healing session with
Mhm.
the women that I take as my clients. I definitely use holistic products in my facials also. So holistic, organic, products during my facials. And then it also looks like just kind of like healing the skin, working through the skin, and not analyzing their skin and being able to identify what might be going on internally. We're talking about, are you drinking enough water? What
Mhm.
foods are you eating? Are you making sure you're eating your vegetables? Are you drinking? That's a new thing on social media. Are you drinking your skincare? Are you eating your skincare? But it's true, even though it's trendy, it is true.
True.
And so I do a lot of that too. Like we're talking through what is the diet plan? What is the, like, okay, if you're having acne, you're constantly having breakouts, let's start removing some things from the diet. Let's take out dairy, let's take out sugar, and
Mhm.
like just the process of elimination, because sometimes people are allergic to things
And they
and
don't
we might have
know.
grew up always eating them and thinking that it was okay, but really a lot of the things that we're eating and we're drinking is very not good.
It's
It's not good for
inflammatory.
our
Toxic.
It's inflammatory.
inflammatory,
Yeah.
exactly, which is causing your skin to flare up. And like you said, it starts here. What you see on
Hmm.
your skin is a reflection of what's going on internally.
Mm.
Yeah. I always find it so interesting that you can be allergic to something and it won't have a full-blown reaction in your body, and therefore you just don't know. And you
Right.
go for
Mm-hmm.
decades eating that food as like a main, you might say it's dairy. You might have a slice of cheese on your sandwich at lunch. You might put cream in your
Mm-hmm.
coffee in the morning, and at night you might put cream in your mashed potatoes, and it's just like constant
Hmm.
inflammation that you're just not aware of until like it really tips over into something that's
Exactly.
you have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned energy work. Is that Reiki? Could you
Yes.
could you what is that? What is Reiki? I think I've had a Reiki session once, but I don't know. And so I'm interested. What is Reiki?
Yes. So Reiki is actually a Japanese healing practice.
Hmm.
But to me, I make it it's more ancestral for me,
Mm.
because I fully believe that um, I do have a Christian background. And I fully believe that when we go into these churches and we're laying hands on people, we are doing, that is energy work. We may not call it Reiki or energy healing. We call it the laying of the hands, but that's exactly what you're doing, because with Reiki, you're basically sending your healing energy to another. And you can do Reiki in different ways. You can do it in person, and you can also do it in distance as well. And so yes. And so it's like imagining in your mind's eye that I'm sending this healing energy to whomever. Sometimes I do it just to send it to everybody in the world. I just, send that healing energy to everybody. But yes, it's like sharing you're basically a channel, and you're spreading universal energy to whomever your subject is.
Wow. Okay. All right. Wonderful. I didn't understand it that way, but thank you.
It puts me in the mindset of metaphysics. Like I was reading, Joe Dispenza has a book about metaphysics, and he just talks about
I've seen that. I haven't read it, but I've seen it. It's on my list, girl. I have a list of books that
it is so good. But he explains, it's a really good read, and I still have to work all the way through it. I'm listening to it on Audible, but he explains that where you focus your attention, even the molecules in the air begin to organize themselves wherever you're looking.
Wow.
Yes.
I gotta read it now.
Yes, where intention flows, energy goes. Yes, you have to set that intention, and your energy will flow.
Yes.
I've been trying to do this without my glasses. Come on, put them on.
It's a nice. I like those frames on you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, they're nice.
Exactly. Like, oh, and I got now I can see that my little coil right here. I got a little coil. I didn't see that before. So you put the glasses on, now you see everything.
Now you can see.
So I want to talk a little bit about the ritual room and what kind of services, the full list of services that are available to women who tap into the ritual room, and your overall vision for the space.
Yes. Well, Ritual Room is definitely an expansion of the Holistic Homegirl brand. The Ritual Room is where the aesthetics practices happens. And so in the Ritual Room, I'm doing facials of all kind. I have several different facials. My most common facial, or the one that my signature, is just an overall like brightening facial. I like to specialize in hyperpigmentation because that's something that us as Black women, we tend to deal with a lot more frequently than maybe other races. So hyperpigmentation facial.
What is hyperpigmentation?
Where I'm using, so where you have dark spots on your face. A lot of people may get it from acne, where they may have had acne and then the acne may go away, but then they leave scarring, especially if you're somebody who suffers from cystic acne. You may be more prone to hyperpigmentation once your acne goes away. So yes, I like to focus on hyperpigmentation, and then also I'm offering waxing Brazilian services as well, and vajacials, because I just love all things luxury. Also, even though it's healing and we're getting into the real work, we're also adding that touch of luxury as well. So I do vajacials and also yoni.
You know, I want to know, what is a vajacial?
I
never heard that term. A vajacial.
A running list of definitions.
Yes, a vajacial is a facial for your vagina or your private area.
Okay.
So it's like exfoliating. It's like,
yes, it's exfoliating. We're going to put steam on there. We're going to put a nice mask, that will target whatever the intention is. If you have hyperpigmentation in that area, we could do a turmeric mask that will help brighten the area. If you just want to soothe, we can do an aloe mask. If you just want to be cute and add some self-love, we can do a pink rose mask. All different masks for different intentions.
Look at y'all. Look at y'all Yeah, this is I'm loving the young I'm loving the young energy because we ain't had nothing
Yes,
like
yes.
that.
None of that.
Okay. Revelation.
No.
Okay.
I love it. I
I love
love
it. I
it.
love it.
Um,
Thank you.
Self-care. Yes.
so what do women what do they typically say after having that experience? Like what are some of the feedback that you've gotten just from creating these spaces?
Women are always feeling light once they get off the table. They're always like, wow, like I had no idea how much I was carrying, like it's because I also make, even though I'm results driven, I'm a results driven esthetician, I also want to make it more about the healing work that we do, the release, the relaxation. And that's where the holistic aesthetics comes in at too, because I'm not just focusing on caring for the skin, but I'm caring for the entire person that walks through my treatment room. And so they're always feeling much lighter when they get up. And they're just like, yeah, I really needed this. I really needed this. Some people it's their first time ever getting a facial or just ever doing something like that. And they always are kind of like nervous at first. But then once they just allow themselves to relax and just experience and be in the present moment, it's incredible the work that we can do in the transformation that happens in that space. And they just get up and they're just like, sometimes you can physically see the weight like lift off a person.
Mm.
I can imagine that, like the energy shifting within that
Exactly.
session, there's a big energy shift, and
Mhm.
like you got a new person getting up from the table.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like leaving your troubles, like leaving all your troubles there on the table. And so I have to do, because what I do is so spiritual based and spiritual focused, I do have to do a lot of work, a lot of energy work on myself. And I go to the healers too. So it's like every healer needs
Yeah.
healing as well. And so I do a lot of spiritual hygiene within myself, but then I also go to see the healers when I need to have a nice cleansing. And I go to the real deal, the shamans, they're gonna blow smoke. We're gonna do a whole thing because I need to release, because I'm kind of carrying everybody else's baggage, as well too, as I'm helping them work through their stuff.
Yeah, that's such an important call out to like the healers need healers. Like, I mean, because you take on a lot, trying to hold space and you designing tools and resources and services that are going to support women. And yeah, you gotta support yourself as well.
Yes, because how can you show up? Like how can you show up for others if you can't show up for
You
yourself
got to
first?
put
And
your life
that's
mask on first. That's what they say.
Yeah.
you have to, because you just can't. You just can't be your best self if you are pouring from an empty cup. And that is one of the things that I learned, doing my own work as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes. Fill your cup first.
yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So obviously with skincare or even with energy work, you can go and have a session, but what does it look like? What would you say to women who are struggling with making this a part of their day-to-day practice? Because, to see the results and to kind of really even get to that 21 days, some people, may struggle with that. So what are some things that maybe helped you, and what's some advice you would give to women?
Yes, I would say that for me, it was a lot of having to literally rewire my brain.
Mm.
Um, I know it may sound crazy,
No, but
but I did not have these habits like I was telling Miss Eldris, that this wasn't passed down to me.
Mm-hmm.
I come from generations of women who put everybody first, who
Mm.
Yep.
were caretakers for everyone else, and they did not understand that putting themselves first concept like that just like was not even a thing.
Mm.
And so for me, my guidance to other women is just take your time, be gentle with yourself, give yourself grace, and just take it like one step at a time. And it's just like every little bit that you do every day counts. I know that I'm not always, I may have so many things on my to-do list, and I'm like, as long as I got through at least like one or two things, that's enough. Like, it's really like just telling yourself that whatever I can gather the strength to do is enough. Like, I don't have to overachieve. And that was one of my things that I had to work through as well, was like overachievement and perfectionism. Like, everything doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to do everything and crush everything at one time. You know, it's just like small steps in the direction of the goal. All of that counts.
It does. Yes, it does. We actually, in our last recording, and I've been saying this has been my battle cry all 2026. It's like, I'm not doing perfection, and I'm not beating myself up for not being perfect either. Like, as long as I put one foot in front of the other, then I'm doing good. Like, so yeah, and that's where that's my stance. So I love that.
I also like, and I don't know if you specifically said this, but what I got from what you were saying is, and it just occurred to me, like making a list, right? But if sometimes we make a list and the list is impossible to do, and we think, okay, well, if it's got 12 things on it, if I at least do 6 or 7 of those things, that's good. But I might just get 1 or 2 of them things done, right? Because what happens if you don't, for me anyway, I don't make a list. I don't do it. I don't, so as it's out of mind, right? So if I want to establish a practice, right, then I need to at least have an idea of what I want to do. And for me anyway, I don't know about other people, but for me, it helps to have it written down somewhere so that I'm looking at it.
Yes.
And that I can make small steps towards it. So
yeah,
thank you for that.
I think there's so many competing priorities these days that maybe like I don't think life ever felt as complicated as it does in 2020. Like,
I don't think so either, Jasmine. I'm
ridiculous.
Yeah,
because you gotta hit
myself on that heel.
Yeah. Like there's so many different things, and like if you have children, you got your job, you got your spiritual, you got your fitness and health stuff, you have the books that you want to read, the books on your shelf that you haven't touched and you bought them years ago. And
you have your travel that you want to do, your spending time, your relationships.
Yep. Your romantic,
maintaining your relationships, your friendships. That is a full-time job in itself.
Yeah. Sometimes I find myself like just writing down, okay, call such and such this day, or you got in this week you need to call these people, as part of the relationship upkeep. So it's like the stress of just like, hey, take it easy, like you're gonna get some stuff done. And my list, I do make lists on my day-to-day, but whatever I don't get done, that gets put off to the next day. And it works because like the things that I've prioritized are at the top of that list. So as long as those things get done, then I'm doing good. I am doing good. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just getting to we got 5 minutes left, so
I did want to ask a question, because you mentioned shadow work. And so my understanding, I think that we have areas of our life that are hidden, or things that we need to really look at. But and I'm asking a question more than I'm asking for my own clarity. Because it seems like you came out of that really focused more on the spiritual side than the religious side. And so, okay. So this is a spiritual journey for you more than it is like, this is my side hustle. Right? No, this is a spiritual.
Yeah, yes. This is literally my spiritual journey. You're absolutely correct, Miss Eldris. And as a part of that spiritual journey, now as I've done the shadow work and I did the healing, now this is the ritual room in the Holistic Homegirl is my give back to help other women come through that journey as well. Because a lot of us have a lot of trauma. And I don't mean to cut you off. I don't know if you were done with your question, but a lot of women, we have a lot of trauma, and a lot of us don't know or don't understand the aspect of shadow work, and we're just living through those wounds, and we continue to wound others, or we continue to make choices where we wound ourselves. And unless we start doing the work, we will continue to repeat patterns, repeat cycles, and just continue to cause and inflict more pain on ourselves and on others. It's just it's an awful pain cycle that I want to help other women get out of, because I remember being in those pain cycles and just constantly going through relationships, heartbroken and just devastated. It was a lot involved in my shadow work. I had to understand my attachment style, understand why I was choosing the type of partners that I was choosing and what it was trying to trigger in me to work through and heal. And all of that was a part of my shadow work journey. And what that looked like was just sitting with my feelings and allowing myself to feel whatever it is that I was feeling, like not just trying to shove it down and keep moving. That's what a lot of us do. That's what a lot of us have done generationally. Just we're gonna push it down. We're gonna keep moving. I'm not gonna sit and look at this. I'm not gonna face that I'm dealing with depression. I'm not gonna face that I'm dealing with being heartbroken, or I'm not gonna face that I'm dealing with grief. Whatever the emotion is, I learned to sit with that and to process that and ask myself questions. Ask the hard questions to yourself. The why. Why am I choosing to be in this relationship with this man that clearly don't want me? Like, he's not choosing me. It's not healthy. What is the why?
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole
that's another podcast right there.
That's a whole, because I mean, I think it's very important work, like what you're saying, the aspect of like this trauma, the individual responsibility is so incredible right now, because like I was just saying to my mom the other day, in our community, there is so much trauma. And if we as individuals, the best thing that we can do for our community is to work on ourselves and is to be able to recognize, because from that space you can recognize and see when someone is dealing, and you can hold space for that and kind of guide them, support them in guiding out, because trauma begets more trauma. Like we'll be look at 100 years down the line and our grandkids are going through the same stuff we going through, and we're not having that. We're just not having that.
No, we're not. No, we're doing the work. We're breaking generational curses. I know we say that it's a thing, it's a trendy thing, but like, no, those of us who are really in the field, like myself, I'm breaking generational curses. I'm the generational curse breaker in my family, and I will not repeat those bad habits. We're not doing that.
Yes.
That's probably your destiny. You probably had to go through that in order to get to where you are, so that you could do what it is you're doing in order to help others. If you are the generational curse breaker, then you had to go through that to dig deep so that you could actually come out, right?
Absolutely. That is absolutely what is happening. That is my destiny. I have been told that by multiple spiritual healers that I have gone to. They have all confirmed that for me, that I do have that as my destiny and as my mission. And so it was all purposeful, all the pain, all the because there's a ton of it. It starts in my childhood, and then that further went into me growing up into teenage and adult years and choosing the type of relationships I was choosing because of the things that I went through as a child. And it was all for purpose.
Yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
wonderful.
Absolutely. Tanisha,
Mhm.
last thing I want to ask, how do people get in touch with you? Where can they learn more? Um, yeah, how do we follow along on the journey?
Well, I'm most active on my Instagram, Holistic Homegirl with two L's. I mostly post there. Whatever I have going on, you're best gonna find me there. Right now, my website is up and coming. So once that launches, that will be announced there on Instagram as well. And I am on Facebook also under Nisha Janae, Nishajanae, but not as active there. But I am there. If you want to catch me there, you can catch me there. And then also, but mostly on Instagram. That's where I am.
Yes, I know I found you on Instagram as well. So with that, any final words, ladies? I think we have so many gems in this episode.
We do, we do. And I have some more questions, so I might reach out to you. I'm not as proficient with Instagram, but I might reach out. I got some questions. I'm like, okay. Vajacial.
We on that.
Yes,
We still
yes.
on that.
I'm still on that, yes.
Okay,
Well,
well,
I really enjoyed you, ladies. This was very, very, very pleasant. Thank you so much for having me and sharing your platform with me and your listeners with me. This has been an incredible, incredible hour.
Yes.
thank
Thank
you
you.
for us as well, and thank you for being open to this. I know I randomly was like, "Hey, why don't you come on a podcast?" I like what you're doing.
Yes, yes. I
So,
appreciate it. I appreciate you for seeing me, sis. I appreciate
yes.
you.